why I'm out there making it another great day, and I'm in Tampa today. I'm in Ybor City for the grand opening of Vintage Roost. It's an antique, vintage, collectible merchandise. They go out, find the merchandise, and you can come and shop. Their market's going to be open the second and fourth weekend of every month, and the merchandise will change. It's owned by 4 ladies, they tell me, and we're going to go inside and see if we can make a roost of our own, and who knows what we will find in this shop. And I do enjoy looking at vintage merchandise. Kind of takes you back, you know what I'm saying, of yesteryear, and I like looking at stuff like that, and I hope you do too. That's coming at you right now. And I am right outside of the Vintage Roost on the grand opening day here in Ybor City. And I see some whiskey barrels here. I'm not sure if this is Moonshine barrels or what, but I'm liking that. And it's in like a warehouse, almost like a hen house, possibly, with a big old rooster up there. You know, it's going to be vintage. Let's go inside and see what all we can find. I am just inside of the Vintage Roost grand opening today. And they are open the second and fourth weekend for Friday, Saturday, and Sundays every month. This here looks like one of those light-up lamps. I remember having a lamp like this with the old wagon wheel and the horses, and the wagon lit up. I'm not sure if this one lights up. I think it does. They have a framed map here of a thing called Beach Fest from 1991 that happened in St. Pete Beach, and that's pretty old, I guess. 91. They have an old poster here from probably a B movie. It's a Warner Brothers film called The Diamond Queen. Never heard of that one, but it's probably a thriller. One thing in these vintage markets I like is the plastic light-up Santas and snowmen and stuff. And here they got the string light set. I've not seen those before, but they have some light-up Santas, and they also have the old light-up candles. And can't buy those anymore. I am tempted. I am not sure if this is some kind of a military thing. It's got dials on it. I'm not sure what you would do with that. It almost looks like something like a mannequin you would put something on, but I'm not sure what you would do, what that's for. It says bust open, and that is the bus, so the button there says bust open. I'm not even touching that. Here's a basket of billiard balls. They have all different kinds, but I did notice that they have these small ones, and I bet you those was used for the old game called Skittle Pool. I don't know if y'all remember Skittle Pool. Remember Don Adams from Get Smart? He did that commercial in the little tiny balls. I have found a very unique vintage phone. It doesn't look like a phone, it looks like a massager, or one of those CB mics that you might see at a sheriff's department or something. But on the bottom, it's got the old dial, and it says that it does work, it rings and everything, and that's pretty classic. I think Don Adams on Get Smart would like this. He had his in his shoe, I believe. They have a lot of wood signage here. It says welcome and live and catcher. And here's one, I guess, instead of saying no trespassing, just scalpel. I think this vintage Santa and Mrs. Claus is so cool. These are some old figures, stuffed figures here for Christmas. They have some very old vintage cars and trucks. There's an old Texaco truck, and they even got the army guys down here as well, and matchboxes and stuff, and just some vintage collectible toy items One of the things I do like to see is the old Coke memorabilia, the old Coke things. And here's a vintage CocaCola clock. They've only got $35 on it, and that's one of the old original ones. That's not a reproduction. That's a vintage clock. They do have a lot of road signage here. There's one dead end. That would be good for Halloween. A detour. And some old Pepsi thermometers, and there's even a Coke bottle there. There's a bunch of ceramic birds, and you got all kinds of dishware and stuff, and just a lot of stuff here. How many remember those old Corningware dishes? My mom had those. I have never seen so many vintage cameras in one location. There's a whole bucket of them right here, and there's even a suitcase of them, a case of them down here with telephoto lenses and old 35 millimeters and stuff. Now these are some very, very vintage cameras here on this table. Here's the ones that flip out, and probably some people might not have seen these. I've never used one, but before my time. But I remember my dad, I think, had one like that one right there. When we first come in, there was some whiskey barrels outside, and I was hoping for a Moonshine still. And they are delivering on the inside with the Moonshine jugs. They even have the clear Moonshine jugs here, totally clear, or a brown bottle. And if you need to, if you're doing some moonshining in Florida, you can get some bottles here. This area back here is called the junk joint. It says vintage stuff all through this market. Well, I remember the radio flyer wagon, but I don't remember the radio flyer hobby horse. I think Radio Flyer also did sleds as well. They had this very nice globe here, and the first thing I thought of when I seen this big old globe, it might be something being Wayne Manor on Batman. I even found some vintage Mad magazines, and there's even a bunch of comics. Marvel, DC, old Captain America. There's some old Captain Americas in here too, and Wolverine. I even found a life preserver here. It's wall decor for your wall from the Titanic. I doubt that was on the original, but it looks pretty old. Here is a Pepsi crate, and that guy right there, that's one of those art figures that you would have in art class, and he's trying to keep that toy, I guess, from falling out, and it is a gamble for him to do that. And here's him some poker chips for that gambling process, I guess. I found this gigantic clock, just absolutely cool, and I don't know if that would fit in my car, but I like it. It's big. That would be Big Ben, I guess. I have not seen one of these. I've seen E.T., but this looks like a ceramic. It's a ceramic made E.T. It has no price, but someone's made this in ceramics. Everywhere I go, there's Moonshine jugs. I like it. I think maybe we need to go get a drink somewhere, probably. They have a bunch of pumpkins here as cookie jars, and the one that caught my eye was this one right here. This pumpkin right here reminds me of the pumpkin cookie jar that Mary Tyler Moore had on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. It does look like it. They even have a Curio cabinet here that's complete with the chicken wire for your roost at home. And I put all your glassware and everything else in there, even a rooster if you want. Well, they call this place the Vintage Roost, and here's the head rooster right here, right in the middle of the Vintage Roost, I guess you could say. And be sure to check out the description here for Vintage Roost, and be sure to like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram. They're located in Ybor City. Well, that was the Vintage Roost right here in Ybor City. Had a great time here looking around inside the Vintage Roost. Brand new vintage market, open every month, the second and fourth weekend of the month on Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. Check their link out in the description for their website and for their Facebook for links. So much stuff in here to look at. You could look around. I've been in here for a good hour or more, and found a lot of cool things. And I love these kind of places. You can't show everything, and the merchandise does change every month. So right inside there. And who'd have thought they'd have got that much stuff inside of that? They did though, and they will though. And I'll probably come back. I like to come and check these places out, just kind of like a little antique walk, a little looking around. You never know what you're going to find at one of these places. And those light up Santas and snowmen are very tempting to me. I almost was going to buy it, and I was like, do I really need it? And I don't really need it. But appreciate all you subscribers out there. Keep hitting that subscribe button. We're going to keep finding these little unique spots and things that just pop open and things that are there that you don't know is there. And hope you enjoy some of these places I go to and some of the things unique items I can find. It's a lot of fun. Remember, keep going out there making a great day because you deserve it.